I'm now going to demonstrate using the pre-release version of version 3 of the MiloSlick software with the Xterminator, and show how I can use high dynamic range to be able to combine images at different exposures dynamically so that you keep the central core showing while also picking up the outer areas of the small wispy areas of the, say, the Orion Nebula here. I have gone through the standard sequence of first setting my camera up, I'm using just a 3-second integration. I'll go ahead and start the integration. Then I went to video. You adjust your video settings next. Before you get to any histogram or image processing, you do camera, then video. I've already set my video. On the image, what I have done dark frame subtraction. I took a dark frame earlier, so that's enabled. And at this point, I could adjust the histogram, but it's still not going to give me the desired effect. I'll also show you if I do just bump this up to say 9 seconds. This is the typical problem you'll have with just a longer exposure where you've got a bright core, but you're wanting to pick up some of that outside. It blows out the core when you're trying to pick up the other fainter areas. So now let's turn or run the integration back to 3 seconds, and I'll show you how you can use high dynamic range to solve that. Now I'll go back to frame stacking. Instead of using a rolling average or arithmetic mean, I'm going to use high dynamic average, and I'm going to pick 4 exposures, and I'm going to set it at a half stop. What that's going to do is combine a 3-second, 5-second, 7-second, and 9-second exposure in a weighted manner that will retain the center core while also picking up some of the outside. So let's enable that and watch what happens. Alright, I'm now getting my first 3-second frame. I see I've got frame 1 of 4. Now I'm picking up a 5-second frame, and you'll see now it's picking up some of the fainter outside, but still remaining keeping the core. I'm now about to get my 7-second exposure, and it's again picking up more detail, still can see the core. And then finally we'll pick up the 9-second exposure. Alright, now we're picking up even more, and it will continue to repeat that. And at this point, what I'm going to do though is adjust in the final stage here to pick up just a little bit more. Whoops, hold on a minute. You've got to enable it if you want to adjust the histogram, and you can put a little bit more of the external. You can run a little bit, take this end and cut some of the black out and do a capture, and you've got you a nice combined exposure with the outside as well as the inside showing up. You can play with it to get it obviously better, but you do the sequence of camera, video, image, and on the image you do the high dynamic range averaging, and you can pick however many stops you want, how many exposures you want to get a nice image. And then the final thing then is your histogram.